Jacques. Nice. Yeah. Oh, that is cool. Well, what Mark mentioned when he was announcing me is that I'm from Papua New Guinea. Well, I'm actually Australian, but I was born in Papua New Guinea. And my parents are Scottish. I live in America, and I'm a member of the Canadian PGA. So I'm very, very international, multicultural. So for me, it's been great to really travel, fortunately, lots of different places around the world. Even when I was a little kid, being born in Papua New Guinea, I was there till I was about 2 or 3 years old, and then my parents moved to Australia, where I grew up. And at the time when I was born, Australia was actually kind of the governing body of Papua New Guinea, because Papua New Guinea in 1975 was getting ready to get their independence, so Australia helped in that process. And my dad was a police officer, or they called them patrol officers, to help with that. So fortunately, I started playing the game of golf when I was about 5 or 6 years old. My wee granny from Scotland gave me a plastic club and said, "Here, little lad, go play," right? And so she just said, every Scottish kid has got to have a golf club in their hand. And all of a sudden I started swinging it. And if you have kids or grandkids that have had little plastic clubs in their hands, golf is natural in a sense. They just swing at something. There's no ball. They just make a motion, and all of a sudden you think, hey, maybe this kid could actually do this. So I like to say that golf is essentially the simplest game, in that you have to hit a ball from point A and it has to go to point B. That's it. There really isn't a whole lot more than that. But at the same time, it's the most complex game, right? It requires a lot of coordination. So your coordination is defined by the communication from your brain to your body. All right, so if you try to learn anything, dancing, another sport, golf, golf is a very high level exercise when it comes to that coordination. And we were listening last night to John Brinkus. I don't know, were you there last night? You missed it. But John Brinkus does sports science segments, 1,100 episodes, I think is what he said. So he's analyzed every top athlete. So he's connected with ESPN, and he was with Fox. And so when all of a sudden Padraig Harrington does the Happy Gilmore on a Golf Channel Academy segment, all of a sudden John Brinkus says, hey, that transferred more energy. Why don't we do a sports science segment on it, and maybe we'll determine, does the Happy Gilmore effect actually work, right? So he's the science mind behind it. So that's what he attested to. He said last night that golf is really the most challenging sport for us to excel at. There's other sports. He said hockey, ice hockey, would be the toughest sport to learn period, as an adult. And then golf is the hardest one to actually become exceptional at. And he based that on really just the number of high quality expert professionals there are in the world versus, which may be 1,000 to 2,000, versus the number of golfers that actually play. So in my world, I operate at both ends of the spectrum. So I play at the highest level. So in January of this year, I'm going to be playing in the Waste Management Phoenix Open, right? So I get to play in a PGA Tour event. I won our Southwest Section Championship a couple of months ago, and that qualified me to play in that tournament. And then about a week and a half ago, I went to Bermuda. Right? It was unfortunate. I had to go to Bermuda to the Caribbean to play golf. But it was actually the Canadian Club Pro National Championship that was being played there. Not much golf going on in Canada right now. So they said, let's go hold a national championship in Bermuda on a nice island. They have a good relationship because Bermuda is a British settlement, and so they have a good connection with Canada. And I went and won that tournament. So just a week and a half ago, I won the Canadian Club Pro Championship, which is really cool. And then on the other end of the spectrum, I'm taking 3, 4, 5-year-olds and teaching them how to play golf. I'm taking injured adults with all kinds of issues, mental and physical baggage, right? Because this game can cause some mental trauma as well, so we have to work through some of that stuff. And so I say all that to say that I don't focus on one area. I'm not an elite coach. I'm not saying I'm going to help every elite player and not focus on the beginner or the 26 handicapper or 35 handicapper or whatever it is. I just love the sport, and I have a good way of communicating ways that will help you. So today what we're going to do, I'm going to kind of quickly review some of the stuff that you have, and we'll just have an open conversation about golf and what are some ways that we can kind of organize our thoughts, because in my mind you can achieve whatever you focus on, but sometimes you have to just organize it in your head as to how you want to achieve it, right? So last night after the, I'm always thinking, last night even after our presentation I came up with this little system, right? Because there's a lot of good discussion last night on, okay, so golf is hard, you want to get better at golf, and excelling at a game and a sport is a personal drive, something that you want to achieve. But then there's growing the game. So do we make the game easier as an industry? Do we make opportunities for people to learn easier so that we actually grow a sport that's essentially challenging? And then what about those that do want to excel? So there's both ends of that, right? So basically a couple things were brought up, and I liked a few of them. So I said that the first thing you have to have in learning anything, especially the game of golf, is you have to have the courage to fail. You want to learn anything, you have to have the courage to fail, right? So you're going to fail, but you have to actually have courage to do that, right? When they teach little kids on the balance beam for gymnastics, they don't put the beam up here because you don't have courage enough to do a flip on a beam that high off the ground, or a cartwheel or a handstand. So they basically start out with a 4-inch piece of tape on the carpet, and you have to walk and you have to stay on that line, right? So that leads me to the next thing. You have to have the courage to fail, but you also have to have the wisdom to know when it is safe to fail, right? You don't want to fail and get injured mentally or physically. You don't want to fail and be extremely embarrassed. You don't want to fail in an environment that's only going to cause a problem, right? So you have to have the wisdom to know when it's safe to fail, the courage to be okay, I'm okay at failing at this. Then you have to have the desire to persevere through the failure, right? So you might be okay with failing, but then you might say, well, you know what, I failed enough at this. I failed in some safe environments. I don't really want to fail at the next level, so I'm not going to persevere and fail in a bigger environment. I just don't have the desire to do that, right? And then you have to have, at the root of it all, is really the determination to try and obtain something that you might think is unobtainable. So set a goal that you want to achieve, because in my mind, when I set goals, I set a goal to go win that tournament in Bermuda. It's been a lifelong goal of mine to play in a PGA Tour event. I get to achieve that. If I didn't throw that goal out there, it wouldn't drive me to pursue it, right? So we have lots of time in the day. You know, if you take your 24 hours, maybe simply cut it in half to 12, you got 12 hours to figure out maybe what it is that you're going to do to pursue anything, whatever it is. In this case, we're talking about golf, right? So if I have the desire to obtain something that currently is out of reach, I'm going to go for it. So you got to have those few things, right? So we'll talk a little bit more about what some of those things are. I just noticed everybody finished filling out their sheets, so let me grab those real quick from you and just take a quick glance and see what my guinea pigs are like here. Okay, so cool. All right. Well, the good news is everybody's kind of in the same boat, right? With kind of the realm of their game. Maybe we've got a little bit of different experience when it comes to how long you've been playing, or you know, the number of lessons you've taken, or whether you're currently taking lessons, etc. But it seems like most everybody is kind of at a decent place. Would that be agreeable. So there's a level of comfort in your game. You want to get better, or else you probably wouldn't be here. But it's not like this is driving you. You're like, okay, I'm super addicted to this game. I got to get better. We got the senior tour. I got to get on the senior tour, or whatever it is, right? So when I do the same kind of thing with, say, a group of high school kids or college students, I'm seeing stuff like, I want to be on the PGA Tour. You know, I'm taking 5 lessons a week, you know, all that kind of stuff. My lowest score ever is 66. My last score was a 69, stuff like that. So in order for me to just kind of direct my little presentation to you, it's important for me to first listen and understand a little bit about where you're from. So that's what we're going to do next. Start with Vicki again. So just kind of tell me why you're here. Why did you sign up, and why did you want to come and learn anything about golf today?
To improve my game. I'm always open to learning new things. I've played off and on since I was in my 20s, but not consistently, so it's been off and on and off and on. So I recently joined a country club and just want to golf more.
Yeah, no, that's great. So you got an incentive there. I'm going to take advantage of this membership, and I want to get out there and play more. And if I am going to play this game, I want to do it better. So I'm going to seek out some knowledge, wherever that knowledge is going to come from. And then obviously this particular knowledge fit your schedule and your time and your budget and all that kind of stuff, right? What's your story?
Well, I didn't take it up until we retired. So I'm at that stage there.
Was this last year?
Some days it feels that way, so it's just it's exercise and a challenge.
Yeah.
Because I never was into team sports. I don't know. I don't have great sports ability anyhow, so I never got. But the thing about golf, you know, because I could spend hours. Like I don't have to have a course in my. I'm out there by myself. Just being a course. I'm happy with that. And I'm sure guys I play with can't figure this out. Why, I don't need this group. And so I'm just trying to get to what I'm able to do because I'm old, my age and flexibility and all that stuff kind of limits.
So in your case, golf is exercise.
Yeah.
Whether you're hanging out with people or not, you can be social, but you can also just enjoy the environment, enjoy the outdoors, get your exercise, enjoy the challenge. And then if you can learn just a little bit more, then obviously that just helps you to enjoy a little bit more of the game. Yep, right? Cool. Thanks, Bob. Jill?
It was just a nice opportunity to meet somebody like you and do something different. And
Well, thank you. I think I'm special. That's nice.
we're out there quite a bit. For me, as Bob said, he's not athletic. I'm really not athletic, but I really like being out there. I can't putt, and I have it in my head. Can't putt. And I know I'm thinking too much about it, and it's making me rage.
Okay. All right. So we need bigger holes.
We need bigger holes.
Jill, I'm making notes. I'm gonna get big cups on your course. Where do you play? We're gonna get that in tomorrow.
Thank
So.
you. I'll give you a list of my favorite courses.
Yes. I will have big cups cut on every green and a flag that says Jill's.
Jill, yeah.
Just Jill. Put that on there. Sweet. All right. And how long have you been playing? So.
Oh, regularly, probably about, I guess, 15 years.
Yeah.
And
And then in Vancouver Island the whole time, or
yeah, and we come down here. Sometimes.
yeah. Cool. All right. So Violet, what's your story?
I took golf up about the same time as Jill, probably 13, 15 years ago, I guess. And I'm here for the same reasons. I'm open to learning. I'm interested. I I'm not trying to, I don't like competitions. I belong to a club at home, but I don't play in the competition. I like playing, partly for the, I always say it's a third the exercise, a third the social, and a third the challenge of golf.
Yeah.
That's sort of my attitude. And I like it when I play well. I'm not really good. I'm a 24. Sometimes I'm a 22. I'm handicapping. My score yesterday was 84, which was awesome for me. I'm
Really
usually-
good this week.
Yeah. I'm usually in the low 90s, high 80s, usually under 100.
Yeah.
And we play like Weaker Pond, Vista Verde, nice courses. But, so I want to play decently. I want to maintain my physical health. And because we play, when they're here, we play like 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So I work at trying to not hurt my back and, get sciatica and do all those things. And so that's important to me as well. And I'm 74 next month, so I'm young anymore. So I want to maintain, and I want to not get, I don't like it when I play really badly, but it's usually because I'm not paying attention and doing those things. But I don't expect to get really good.
Gotcha.
And I don't practice,
Yep.
okay? Playing is practice.
Yeah. Well, when you're 5 days a week or whatever, there's no time to practice.
I enjoy it. Exactly. I want,
Cool. Jacques, what is your story? Why are you here?
I started to play golf when I was 15.
Yeah.
And I never know anything about golf before.
Mm-hmm.
For 2 or 3 years, I had my bike swing, kill the ball, go to the trees. And somebody told me, I said, no, you have to cool off. So I started to, I never take a lesson. But I love for clubs, golf clubs.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
My ex-girlfriend, she was a golfer. So
That's how you started?
we started like this.
Gotcha.
So I started little by little.
Mm-hmm.
And I watch a lot like the PGA Tour on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I focus for one thing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
After I go to the farming ranch, try to do the same.
Yep.
Or I go to the farming ranch, a good golfer,
Mm-hmm.
have the hit.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So for you, a lot of it is, or some of it has to do with your just intention on learning and just absorbing information and improving. I'm gonna check one thing back here and make sure we're still good to go.
I like your shirt.
Oh, you do?
I like that learn, play.
Learn, play, laugh. Yeah. Yeah, so let me expand on that. Learn, Play, Laugh is my company, and it's the umbrella brand to a lot of different things that I do. So the learn component of it is the teaching. I'm a lifetime learner. I'm learning stuff from you just as quickly as you're learning from me. Last night, like you noticed, I took a bunch of notes and formulated a concept around something that I learned even just last night, right? So learn is important to me. Play is important to me because I like to compete. I love the competition. I don't play socially. I played one social round of golf on Monday, and I think that was my first social round of golf in 2016. I don't play socially. I play either a practice round for a tournament to prepare, or it's actual tournament round, and occasionally I'm practicing and hitting balls, but I'm not going out just to hit and giggle and have fun and be social. I can, but it's not what I do. And usually I find myself playing socially. If I do it 9 holes, okay, that's 2 hours of time or whatever it is, that's enough. I'm on to something else. So, and the laugh component of it is my trick shot show, right? So I do it's called the Outback Golf Show. So since I'm from Australia, when I entertain a bunch of people, I throw on an Aussie hat, shorts, shirt, hiking boots, tell stories as a little tacker growing up in the outback of Australia, where I grew up in a little town called Darwin in the Northern Territory. So the Aboriginal people of the Northeast Arnhem Land adopted me into the Aboriginal tribe, and I tell stories as a little tacker growing up in the outback of Australia while I hit golf shots. onto my legs, spit balls out of my mouth, throw balls behind my back, hit them out of the air. So I convert from American teacher guy to Aussie golf ball whacker guy, right? Entertainment. And it was really funny because I wanted to play. I wanted to compete, I wanted to play on tour. So one of the ways that I funded my tournament play was to go entertain and do trick shots. So I would do a trick shot show, a corporation would hire me, I would do an event for a charity or a country club member guest, and I would go entertain and they would pay me, and then I would take that money, because that was kind of like my night job, was I would teach golf lessons that would help pay my mortgage, and then I would go do trick shot shows, and if I did a trick shot show I was excited because then I could take that money, because it was on the side business, I could put it in an entry fee and go play a tournament, right? So that's where the Learn, Play, Laugh comes from, and underneath, Learn, Play, Laugh is the umbrella, and then underneath that is golf course management. I manage a golf course in Mesa. It's a small course. It's currently called Fiesta Lakes Golf Course, par 3 course with 2 par 4s. It's a beautiful little course. It's got a lake on it, trees going all the way around it. You guys are definitely going to have to come out and play it. It's a great little course, and it's really centrally located at the 101 and the 60, and it's easy to get to, and you play in about 45 minutes to an hour. You walk. We don't have any golf carts because it's a short, low course. And then I have junior academies where I have staff that teach kids as little as 3 years old, even 2-year-olds if they are walking and moving. We do like parent coaching classes with them. We do ladies only golf clinics, all kinds of stuff. So that's where the Outback Golf Academy falls underneath that. So I've got the academy portion, I've got the playing portion, and then I've got the entertainment portion. And Learn, Play, Laugh to me was just a great message that I could share with people, because even in my logo, it's fundamentally great golf, right? So fun is in bold, fundamentally great golf. So I'm not interested in just okay golf. I want great golf. I want great golf for you. So when you signed up for this, you didn't know what you're going to get. We're going to run through a few things, and I'm just going to kind of exercise your mind first. It's a little chilly outside. We may end up popping up these doors. I have a product, a saber. It's awesome. Goes underneath Learn, Play, Laugh in the Learn category, and you're going to get to swing the saber and do some exercises, get your blood going, get your step count up, right? You got your Fitbit on. That's important. I got to help you get your steps for today, right? So everybody plays this game for a reason, right? And the message that I have usually to any kind of group that I talk to, even when I get to talk to these PGA professionals later this afternoon, really the message is stick with why you chose to play. If your decision evolves, like when I was a little kid, I don't think I played for the trophies. I played to hang out with my buddies. My parents would drop me off at